Priyanka and many more. So we are in the journey of mastering biostatistics. What is the deal between us and the examiner, doctor? Examiner is going to ask 5 questions. 5 MCQs are going to come from biostatistics, without doubt. These 5 MCQs come from around 100 concepts. And these 100 concepts are reviewed with about 300 MCQs from the last 15 years of All India and PGI. All India AIMS PGI JIPA. And these 300 MCQs of biostatistics will take about 10 hours of your total time. But this 10 hours is worth because you are going to short answer the 5 MCQs in the tomorrow's exam. So let us make the great beginning. Good to see Yugender, Nagredi and many more who are all online. Please drop a like to all your classmates that the live class has started. Now, which is the best distribution to study the daily admission of head injury patients in a trauma care center? What are you doing here? You are counting. What are you doing? You are counting. You are trying to count the daily admissions of the head injury. So this type of distribution where you are counting the number of events is called as Poisson's distribution. Now, what is meant by Poisson's distribution? It is a discrete probability distribution. It is a discrete probability distribution of what? For the count of the events that occur randomly in a given interval of time. Gotcha? So what are you doing here? You are counting the daily admissions of head injury. They are happening randomly. Patients are traveling on the outer ring road to reach the Shamshabad airport. They are traveling along on the highway. Randomly they are meeting an accident and then brought and admitted. So Poisson distribution is a discrete probability distribution for the count of the events that occur randomly in a given interval of time is what you have to emphatically remember. So in a lot of experiments, research, we see the counting of events in a unit of time, area, volume, length, etc. For example, number of cases of a disease in different towns, number of mutations in a set size of the chromosome, that is all Poisson distribution. So it is called in the honor of Simeon Poisson. Poor guy lived only 59 years. See, doctor, life is so short. Right? He himself is not sure to predict his own random event of death, Poisson distribution. Now, the specified event occur randomly, and random का मतलब क्या है? It is independent of the past occurrences, it is independent of the future occurrences, right? It has no relation with last time it happened in summer, this time it happened in winter. So it has no relation to the past or future occurrences. Poisson distribution is also commonly used by geographers in order to model how frequently an event occurs across a particular area, like a cyclone or a storm. How frequently an event can occur across a particular area is what you need to Remember. Now, what is the role? Where do we use a Poisson distribution? It is used for the quality control statistics to count the number of defects in any item. आप Amazon, Flipkart में order किया, so Poisson distribution is used to count the number of defects of the item. In biology, to count the number of bacteria. In physics, to counter the number of particles emitted from a radioactive substance randomly. And in insurance, to count the number of casualties, etc., etc. Now, one of the options given by the examiner is binomial distribution. ये क्या होता है देखेंगे, और एक दो points let us know about uniform distribution also. अभी आ गया हमारा मैथमेटिकल जीनियस गगन कुबेर. Gagan Kuber has a natural acumen for statistics. That's my gut feeling. Am I right, Gagan? Binomial distribution. Who developed it? James Bernoulli. ये कितने साल जिया? He also lived only 61 years. Oh my God. Most of the statistician guys are all 60-year-old. Then it is also called Bernoulli distribution, binomial distribution. Acha bhaiya, what are the assumptions of Bernoulli or a binomial distribution? Binomial distribution ka assumption kya hai ki whenever you do a trial, there are only two possibilities हो सकता है. एक success हो सकता है, एक failure हो सकता है. And the number of trials, n, is finite. And in each trial, these two outcomes, success or failure, are mutually exclusive. So the probability of success is equal to P, is a constant, and the probability of the failure Q is 1 minus P. And all these trials are independent. That is, an outcome of one trial is not affected by the outcome of the other trial. And the probability of the success P is constant from trial to trial. So these are the assumptions of the binomial distribution. So you know, counting जहाँ involve होता है उसको बोलते हैं Poisson distribution. और binomial distribution में either success or failure. Where do we use binomial distribution? Whenever the outcomes of the results of each trial is characterized only as one or two types of possible outcomes, we use binomial. And the outcome of any trial does not change and is independent of the results of the previous trials. There we use binomial distribution. Suppose your success in NEET PG, it is not dependent on, if it is not dependent anything on how you have spent 4.5 years of medical college, how you studied, how many gold medals you got. इसके ऊपर डिपेंड नहीं होता. It all depends on now how you are able to do the revision. So that kind of things, binomial distribution is the one which is being used like NEET PG preparation and the possible success के बारे में. So there are only two clear outcomes which are mutually exclusive, either success or failure. And the trial results are independent of each other. Trial 2 results do not depend on the trial 1 results. That is very important to remember. Finally, doctor, uniform distribution. ये क्या होता है? It is the probability distribution that has equal probability for all possible outcomes of a random variable. 50% chances success के लिए हैं तो 50% chances failure के लिए हैं. ऐसे situation को uniform distribution बोलते हैं. That's all.